Greetings from the East Africa Philanthropy Network. My name is Purity Momo, and these are the Ubuntu Stories of Impact. On this episode, we are embracing royalty with a focus on the Nnabagereka Development Foundation in Uganda. Marrying cultural heritage of the Buganda Kingdom with modern development strategies, this foundation has made quite incredible strides, and we are thrilled to learn how they are transforming communities by championing health, women's rights, and youth empowerment, all through a lens of Ubuntu. Join us as we dig into this unique fusion of tradition and progress with Mr. Kabuza Mukasa of Nnabagereka Development Foundation. Welcome to this platform. Welcome to this platform, Mr. Mukasa. Kindly take at least 2 minutes of this time to introduce yourself and the work that you do at the Nnabagereka Development Foundation.
Well, thank you very much, Purity. And it's a pleasure having you here. And I'm happy working or partnering with East African Philanthropy Network.
Sure.
It has been a long journey. I've been hearing about the organization and happy having been part of it.
Okay.
Currently. As you say, I'm Kabuza Mukasa. I'm a project coordinator of the EKN, that is the Sakate Nnabagereka. The Sakate Nnabagereka, this is an annual kind of children's camp that engages children between the age of 6 to 18 into inculcating skills, cultural and day-to-day activities, domestic and all life engagements that would help them go through their lives. How do they relate to their peer members? How do they relate to other school children? How do they relate to other people at home? And how would they take their life up to their own independence? So it's a way of engaging and preparing futuristic and ready and responsible children and nationals of the country. Unfortunately, much as it began with the Buganda Kingdom, it was also realized that the values that goes along with the Sakate do not only stop in Buganda, even other parts of Uganda come and join. And where we've had it in international schools, we've had even children from neighboring countries that engage in Sakate. Unfortunately, when we go in the diaspora, when we go, we've been to US, we've been to Canada, South Africa, and so on and so forth. Even those national children from those countries also do take part, because the values that are taught there are not only meant for children in Uganda, not only for children in Africa, that they come across. They all benefit everybody, because the values of Ubuntu, as we it as it is, we realize that values of Ubuntu or Ubuntu cut across, and it is the only way of redeeming this whole world back to its glory when we achieve.
Okay, that's great. And as the foundation is closely linked with the Buganda Kingdom, can you maybe elaborate how that royal connection shapes your vision and approach?
Most importantly, the foundation was founded by Her Royal Highness, the Queen of the Kingdom, and that is the wife to the King. And it is her that is patronizing this Sakate program. That it was after realizing that for the last 30 years, when the cultural institutions or kingdoms had been abolished in our country, a lot of moral decadence took place, a lot of values were lost, and so it was the opportunity now to bring back our cultural values. But how could we do that? Because the parents back at home didn't have time to fend for the children, schools didn't have time to fend for the children. They are only now chasing the academics.
Okay.
And the parents are chasing money or business. So the Nnabagereka or the patron came to fill in the gap in order to parade these children back into the responsible children of the country.
Okay.
And it is being proud to say that the parents have very much acknowledged this and have appreciated and have come a long way. They bring in children 1, 2, 3, 4 years
Okay.
to take part in this because they realize it is the only way that they can attain this from our children. And it has been very well received.
Yeah.
Originally, some people would not have understood it, but when they realized, they appreciated it. And when the children also realized the importance, they asked the patron, why don't you even organize a Chisakate program for our parents so that they could also come and learn what we learn? Because what they learn, apart from the day-to-day life skills, they learn to care for themselves, to care for their young ones, to care for others, to empathize, to live in a family, to live in a school, to live in a society. Or otherwise, people had now started thinking about living by their own. And now, with the Sakate, we realize that people now acknowledge and appreciate and want to be part of this. And very many parents have learned from the children. And interestingly, some of these alumni children that have passed through the program have grown up because it has been on for over 15 years. And that means that some of them have even become trainers again to train the young ones who are coming. And again, the Nnabagereka Development Foundation, having been engaging in a number of other activities, some of them have even been employed in the organization. So they come in, bring in those values, they are right from inside.
Okay.
They take the values back to their schools, they take back the values to their society.
Okay.
So it's a continuous process.
Okay.
It's a very continuous.
And the Ubuntu agenda is very central to your mission. How is it practically integrated into your programs and initiatives?
To learn about Ubuntu, because Ubuntu is a more universal word. Ubuntu bulamu. Ubuntu bulamu in Uganda we call it Ubuntu bulamu.
Okay.
Humanness.
Okay.
And it is that humanness that the Nnabagereka Development Foundation, again, thought, having engaged these children, having acquired the skills and the experiences and the values, other members of the society also need to have the same. When you look at the global SDGs, we can hardly achieve the goals without Ubuntu, without caring for others, without empathizing, without responsibility, without love, without working hard, without faith, without integrity. And this Ubuntu talks about all that. And in our case, as the Nnabagereka Development Foundation, we've been able to partner with other 9 cultural institutions in Uganda. We've brought them together. We've agreed on the values, the common values, because it is so long that you can't end the list. But we've come up with those that are more pertinent. And we've agreed on a common message, which common message has been translated into these other languages, such that when these other people also take the same message, we'll be able to deliver that message in their indigenous languages.
Amazing.
Yes.
And what are the key developmental areas the foundation focuses on?
Yes.
And how do they align with the cultural and societal dynamics of Uganda?
Fortunately, the Nnabagereka Development Foundation is founded on the Uganda Kingdom.
Okay.
Uganda Kingdom has a very strong as a kingdom is as old as talk of 700 years.
Okay.
So it is a very strong and pronounced institution.
Mm-hmm.
It has three arms of administration or pillars that it stands on. It has the culture, it has the administrative,
Mm-hmm.
it has the royalty, because these all line up to the top, and the top, the epitome is our king, and the king oversees or supersedes all these others, because the administration part of it is headed by the Katiki, who is the prime minister, with all the ministers, the chiefs, the parliament, that is Uganda, the chief, and the rest, counties, sub-county chiefs, and everybody, all lying under that line. Then we have the culture, where we have 52 clans, and all these clans have their clan heads, and all these clan heads all account to the king, who is the supreme head, the Sabataka.
Okay.
That's how he becomes the Sabataka. Then we have the royal clan. The royal clan again is headed by the Sabalanga, or the chief royal, who also reports to the king. So it is with those structures that are well established that enables us dig right from the grassroots to the top, that you'll be able to reach all corners of the kingdom, and the king is able to transmit whatever the message you would like to deliver, from the top to the last person, to the last household. Even if the household had a message, would be able to deliver the message back to the king.
Okay.
So, using those kind of structures, the Nnabagereka Development Foundation was built leveraging the culture we have, and the administrative and those are all structures we have, to be able to transmit and work with these people. We are able to learn their problems, and again, we are able to report, we are able to respond according to their needs. We are able to answer their calls using the very structures that will enable the organization to reach each and every corner of the institution.
Great. And apart from health, women's rights, and youth empowerment, are there any other focus areas?
Yeah, because apart for the case of the women, the Nnabagereka Development Foundation has engaged a number of women organizations through, especially in the areas of reproductive health, HIV/AIDS, and breastfeeding, and so on and so forth. Then among the youth, apart from the Sakate program, it has worked with other organizations. It has partnered with other organizations that would like to engage children in the community, especially when it comes to these young children that get pregnant at early stages, that those that go on street as street girls or street boys, they engage them, they try to change them to turn them into productive and responsible citizens of the world.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that.
Maybe also, apart from the youth, we've also been able, through the Ubuntu program, we've also been able to engage the religious leaders and the leaders at that very level.
Great.
School teachers, religious leaders, local government leaders, even the clan leaders. They have also been able to buy into the messages and have taken and relayed the same message.
Great. And how do you assess and measure the impact of your initiatives, especially in critical areas like reproductive rights and maternal health?
I think given the statistics as reported by the official organizations and authorities in the country, there has been quite a lot of change, especially in terms of response whenever people are called upon to respond to these activities. For instance, in Uganda, we previously had a case where people refused to take their children for immunization. But when the king came out and made just a statement, people responded very positively.
Yeah.
And the government received the biggest and the highest numbers it had never registered.
Yeah. Is there any specific case study or story that highlights the transformative impact of your work in the community in Uganda? Any success story, any story? I mean, any case study that you can share with us?
Oh, I think it's quite, again, I could say, it's quite a number, because when we've partnered with the various organizations, some of them are even felt stranded because they could not do much with the community.
Okay.
But when the Nnabagereka Development Foundation was holding, things turned around. And people, actually, even the organizations appreciated and said, but how do you do this? We've been trying this and this, but we've always failed. And among the parents of children that come for the Sakata program, some of them ask, how come we've been with these children all along, but we've failed to impact on them? How come these children are changing? Because we give them an opportunity we give them counseling sessions, and these children reveal what they can't reveal to the parents, what they can't reveal to their school. But when we give an opportunity, they reveal and even come out to repent and even thank their parents for having brought them to accept. And again, they thank the Nnabagereka for having exposed them to such an opportunity. And some of them have even won scholarships, have won all over the big prizes and bursaries into further studies. Some of them have been stranded. And we have one very good example who was helped right from the O-level university and is now doing his master's in law. Through such efforts, and it has linked them and networked them into different networks. And the network itself, Mario, these are the alumni that go through the Sakata program. They've created their own alumni association.
Okay.
And through this alumni association, they are networking now. And they have started own businesses from the experiences and from the skills they learned from Sakata. They are applying them. They are personal businesses.
That's wonderful. And what are some of the challenges you face while you implement your culturally sensitive programs?
Yeah, it's true. There have been quite a number of challenges, especially when you talk of culture, especially in our modern society. Some so-called elites, modern people, do not want to associate or to identify with culture.
Okay.
But eventually, people have come to realize and have appreciated and are coming along. Also, with some religions, in the beginning, would have felt not wanting to work with the culture matters, relating it maybe to demonish or kind of activities, but later they appreciated and also part of it. Because what happens in Sakata, when we are conducting these lectures, it's not like a classroom. We bring in professionals, we bring in experienced people, including religious leaders, to talk to these people. We bring in professionals, celebrities, artists, and who inspire and motivate these children. So eventually people coming to appreciate, to acknowledge, and also calling to identify with the success we are seeing.
Great. Great. And you've talked about engaging religious leaders, but that's like one niche of our community. So, how do you engage with and empower local communities, particularly in preserving and promoting cultural values while addressing modern development challenges?
It's also important to note that our community, especially the African community, has been so much being brainwashed with
Influenced.
the westernized influence. But with the time, people are coming to appreciate, especially when we had those 30 years of absence of cultural institutions in Uganda. Many people had lost direction, and now people are coming back to their roots. When we talk over most of the successful events in our country are all related to the cultural institutions.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports, because the kingdom has two big running soccer tournaments, and one of them is a cup, and that is the counties that make the kingdom. It's the biggest, even including the national Super League or whatever. It is the biggest that ever received the response. And again, with the culturally, religious leaders are always close with the kingdom. They always be there, and lately we've agreed to partner and to carry out these activities, or whatever the activity. What we encourage is the push and the support for those good cultural values that do not in any way impede religion to do their religious activities, but they've come. Actually, some of the religious leaders happen to be cultural leaders at some stage in the kingdom matters, because they're either right from their clan, because each of us belongs to a clan, and we have 52 of them. Each of us belongs to a clan, and in our clan, each clan has a special role, or more than one. It runs on the kingdom. So some of them even have hereditary responsibilities in their culture, so they can practice both religious and the cultural roles. So in a way, people have come to acknowledge and appreciate.
Yeah. Could you maybe talk to us about how you navigate the balance between cultural traditions and the need for modern interventions in areas like women's rights and in health? How do you strike a balance between traditions and modernity?
Actually, it's also interesting to tell you that our kingdom, as I told you, is like a magnet. It's a magnet.
Yeah, for attraction.
Exactly. For whatever message that needs to be delivered. Even if the government wants to deliver a message specifically to the community, we always run back to the kingdom, because people will always listen. Our king, together with the queen, have been champions of the UNDP, UNAIDS, and so on and so forth, who are used to spearhead the campaigns to promote especially the reproductive health, HIV/AIDS, and other related activities that need people's participation, that need people's attention, that where people are needed to hear or to respond, it has to be the voice of the king. The queen. Fortunately, we've come along with the Kabaka Foundation. Like a year ago or two, Kabaka Foundation received the award globally for having been the biggest collector of blood in the whole, actually in the world, because it was reported Kabaka Foundation as the global winner. Because the Kabaka came out and asked his people, come and donate blood, and people responded. They carry out campaigns throughout the king, just the kingdom, not Uganda inclusive, not the whole of Uganda, but only the kingdom. And money to score the biggest as it has been. And again, this year they are embarking on a campaign again to do the same. And even now with the Nnabagereka, she is also coming into filling the gaps where the government feels it may not be able to deliver the message. They'll come to the Nnabagereka Development Foundation, Baraka Foundation, to help them push them the message, because people have the confidence and will respond. And you even come to realize people have now started realizing the difference, because previously people never understood culture, and whatever they would look at as modernity was just enough. But now they've started balancing by themselves. Yes, no, much as I'm this or that, but I belong to this clan, I belong to that clan. So unfortunately, most fortunately, what is unique about Uganda culture, much as we have the 52 clans, there is no single moment that clans will clash. Each clan is very self-independent and is very satisfied with whatever it is. They could develop, let's say, misunderstanding within a particular clan, but two clans will never clash. The system is so smart that each and everybody is content with whatever.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what do you think is the reason why the communities have built such a level of trust with the Nnabagereka and the Kabaka foundations?
I think that's where the component of Ubuntu, because people have the confidence. When the kingdom says something, it is meant for us all.
Okay.
When the kingdom does something, it is meant for us. For instance, we have that Kabaka's birthday run. That is normally the 13th of March.
Okay.
It is now rated the best, again, back in Uganda. It's the biggest because it attracts people from all over. And it has been used to collect, to fundraise for various diseases like HIV, fistula, we've had sickle cells, and so on and so forth. So people rally behind the king. Whatever he comes up with, voice, people want this. There is no one else who will ever speak after he speaks.
Okay.
And whatever he speaks is a command, and people will always apply.
Okay.
And it is that confidence that even if government comes up with it, listen, however good it would be, you're first one to listen what else they can have to say. Says this, they'll follow.
Okay.
The king shows a bit of skepticism. The war is pulled back.
Are there instances where the government has rolled out something and then we have the king saying no to that?
On very few occasions, there are some programs that government brings in that may not really be organizing well with people. Then the king will come and maybe question the genuinity or the spirit behind whatever the program is. And when he raises that, the foreign the government will come to collect it, to make the statement clearer, or to even, for instance, we had the last time when they created the other cities in Uganda, we now have, we are talking of 10. Previously we only had Kampala, but now we have like 10. But when they mentioned the other 9, there was one that everybody thought would have been a city. And when they came out and said, we would like to be enlightened as to why Masaka is not among the cities name. Following the cities, and now people nicknamed it Kabaka's city.
Yeah. But it's amazing. It's amazing to learn how such strategic interventions. Yeah.
And the community listens.
Yeah.
And the government realizes that his voice through people's response.
True.
And even if you want whatever you want to promote in the kingdom,
Okay.
That's why even the UNDP, the mates, and what they have program have come and partnered with the kingdom together to campaign for the various activities. Not only for Uganda, for Buganda, but even for the whole of Uganda.
Okay. I love such alignment of things. Yeah, so moving forward, I would also love to know the role of community feedback in shaping and evolving your programs. Yeah.
The role of the community?
Feedback.
Okay.
Yeah. On your community programs and initiatives.
Yes.
Yeah. What responsibility do they play?
Actually, using the kingdom structures, as I say, have the chiefs at various levels, up to the house, to the village level.
Great.
And whenever the message evolved, whenever the response will be, it is through these channels. And again, among some of the area where we carry out activities, they are coordinators, they are representatives, even outside Uganda, by the way. Because we have representatives who are like ambassadors in the diaspora, in the US, in Europe, Africa, and the other areas who do that. And when afforded opportunity, some of them even come and entitled to sit in the parliament of the kingdom.
Great.
And they will carry the message back. And times the king himself goes around, he pays visits to some of those areas. These visits the king does, in particular with the prime minister who does. So there will always be that exchange. And wherever there is a problem within the, let's say, some community in Kenya, the representative in Kenya will deliver the message back.
Great.
And that will, the kingdom responds by answering to the question.
Okay.
The same way, if the king wants to pick a message or to deliver a message, the ambassador will carry the message. So the channels, be it cultural, the cultural structures you want, the administrative structures you want. Unfortunately, what binds these people together, it is the system that the kingdom, the way it was structured, a king, each of these 32 clans has the opportunity of producing a king. And once a king is produced, ceases to be a member of the royal family and becomes a member of the bearing clan, such that each clan gets an opportunity to produce a king. So that causes no conflict and struggle for who is supposed to be, who does what. No, it is the mother that determines. When the mother is from my clan, then the king will be from my clan. When the mother is from a certain clan, then the king will be from that clan. So that brings about the harmony and transparency and confidence amongst them.
Amazing. Looking ahead, Mr. Mukasa, want to know about your future goals and also touch on collaboration. What are your primary goals and objectives for the upcoming years?
Fortunately, say, especially when it comes to wood, apart from the 9 cultural institutions of Uganda we've talked about, the UNDP has picked so much interest into this that it is even going beyond the borders of Uganda.
Okay.
So we are developing more partnerships, especially now. We are working with the UNDP, and UNDP is talking to the African Union, and I'm very certain it is going further and further.
Great. And how do you envision the role of the Nnabagereka Development Foundation evolving in the broader landscape of cultural and community development in Uganda?
Still, I think the organization still has that mandate of coordinating all these entities. Still, it acts as the guide, as the secretariat, that it can, especially when it came to Uganda, when we were engaging these other cultural institutions. We used the kingdom as the facilitators, the secretariat, as the origin of each and every bit. It generates whatever it feels is good, not only for Uganda, but for the entire society. Because Ubuntu doesn't have limits. Because we believe wherever you may support your child in your home, that child, the following day, will be marrying into another family, which family also needs have shared Ubuntu, all those cultural values, all those values, societal values, because they are not only cultural, but they are societal. That not all the values are meant to be cultural, but even the way we sit in here, the etiquette, the societal etiquette, are all values that are envisaged by everybody, are values that are looked up to by everybody.
Sure.
When we have a number of failures meeting most of the objectives globally, it's because of corruption, which is a hurdle to the development. We have nepotism, we have other vices which are discouraged by Ubuntu. We have what we in our society, what we call the that is the collective collectiveness, where we agree as members of a given society or community to work towards the goal that benefits all of us. We may decide not to do anything but to go and dig our road on the sides of our road, so that we clear the mess. We may decide to go to the well to clear the path to the well. We may decide to put up maybe a building for the community or something that will collectively pool resources and crowd an activity for the good of all of us. And that once doesn't stop within the outside community, but even with us. That's why one of our themes of Sakati, we call it Ubuntu starts with me. That you don't need to be seen practicing Ubuntu. You must do it even without being seen. And in order to tell purity to be Ubuntu, you must be yourself Ubuntu first. You must express that. You must be seen to be doing that. But even without being seen, you are obliged to do that. So we believe that if individuals do that, the whole family does that, the village does that, the entire community will do the same. And eventually they grow because we have half-baked, we have poorly done business, we have poorly delivered the services because of corruption, because of lack of Ubuntu, without which we can't achieve the so-called sustainable development goals.
Yeah.
The environmental impact we have, the climate change, partly lack of Ubuntu.
Sure.
Because people have decided to be selfish. People have decided to look at what they are getting for themselves. Forget this money, I will buy a big car. If I will do this, I will build a big house. And eventually, we end up compromising what would have benefited the rest of the community. So we believe that together, if we pull our efforts together and push for Ubuntu, we shall be able to achieve it.
Great, that's correct. So, lastly, for those interested in supporting and collaborating with the Nnabagereka Development Foundation, what are the most effective ways to engage with and contribute to your mission?
Wow, I can't really point to this and that we've been always trying to reach out.
Yeah.
Networking.
Yes.
Reach out to different organizations. At times, there are also organizations that come to us that feel we may have something to add to what they are doing. At times, we also reach out to these organizations to show them what we know, what we can do, and how we can share the efforts together. And most importantly, is calling upon all that feel that what is being done doesn't stop. Actually, that calls for the empathy among the main points of Ubuntu. With that, you may have what I may not have. You may have enough to satisfy your home, but again, you may feel for that other family that may not have. So if we put our resources together, we could help more of those other people that we do not have. So we feel that we can again think of other people.
Yeah.
Because the way our grandparents, especially in African society, not only fended for their lifetime, but even catered for our generations that have come after.
Yeah.
And we too need to do the same. Unfortunately, some only now look at their lifetime. But for their only survival, we need to look beyond our own survival, beyond our own lifetime, but even to cater for the generations to come. And we can only do it now because if we don't, there may not be other people to do that for them.
Correct.
Because what we are experiencing now and what we are doing now, not all has been done by ourselves, but was done for us.
Yeah.
By the generations that came before us. So it's very important.
It's very informative and eye-opening to listen to you speak. And we appreciate you. We really appreciate you for choosing to educate us today and to have this dialogue with us. So thank you very much on behalf of everyone at the East Africa Philanthropy Network. Welcome to Nairobi and welcome to the Members Summit.
Thanks you for having me here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching this episode. My name is Purity Momo. See you on the next.